Aditya, what's up, man?
Welcome to Sudeep Audio's channel.
Thank you.
You are a fantastic guitarist, known to many college kids, I'm sure, across the country. You're part of Pentagram, which is a very famous band. You're also an independent electronic musician, running your own band, Shaa'r and Func. Very soon we'll have your albums on the internet and fans will be able to buy it. That's exciting. Could you run us through your musical journey? How did you get into this field? Your background, your childhood, any influences?
I guess the root of all of it would be rock and roll, man. I just got into it like from listening to my dad's music back at home. Whether it was like the really old Elvis kind of stuff, or just like pop music that brought in a lot of rock, like Dire Straits, Pink Floyd, the Rolling Stones, James Brown, Bob Marley, back in the day, the Beatles or whatever. So I grew up with that kind of music, my dad's music essentially, you know. Maka Catholic, Goan household. You know, amazing. So always parties, always music. There was always like music around.
So are you from Bombay?
I'm from Bombay, yeah. Originally Goan, but I'm from Bombay. So just music's always around, you know. And I actually picked up the guitar pretty late. I think when I was, comparatively later. I think when I was 14 or something. Just finishing school, and I was like, I feel like I seriously want to play the guitar. I didn't know why or what, but I mean, this rock music thing that I was listening to was seeming cool, and like, yeah, this is awesome, man. The more I got into it, the more challenging it got, and I'm that kind of a person that likes challenges. I was artistically inclined. I was always drawing when I was a kid. I was always into painting and that kind of stuff. So I was always thinking of creating, and I wanted to learn the guitar so I could create, so I could make music. That was actually the beginning of it, you know.
Did you take formal training?
I took formal training from a few teachers, and I felt that it was going very slow for me because they were taking me back to reading, which they said was essential, you know, to learn a lot of stuff, to get inside the industry, and you know, if you want to do sessions and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, I want to be in a rock band more than I want to be doing sessions, you know. And I was working out stuff already from tape and cassette, you know, like rewind forward, you know, pause, and like learning from ear, and I think that really helped me in the long run. And I was just fairly stubborn, like from the very beginning. Whatever people said I could not do, I really wanted to do it, you know. So I would always be working out like the Metallica riffs and like Whitesnake songs, solos, and all these little things. My friends always told me it sounded wrong. I was like, dude, it's an acoustic. That's why it's sounding wrong. I need like distortion and I need amps and shit. Like, nah, man, it's not gonna work. So I was like, dude, I would play even more, practice harder. Yeah, I worried my mom to buy me my first electric guitar. So thanks, mom. That was the first time I think I was playing all the licks I was playing for years. I practiced mostly on an acoustic guitar for many years. I was playing all those instructional videos, which I taught myself from videos and stuff that I was handed over from friends and stuff. So all of your Yngwie Malmsteens and Richie Kotzens and Nuno Bettencourt, that kind of stuff, on the acoustic guitar, man, and play for hours, like 3, 4, 5 hours a day, like serious practice. Mom and all are like, man, beta ko kya ho gaya? You know, what's wrong with this guy? Because this has never happened in our family before, you know. Is he are his friends not talking to him?
Oh, okay.
Like some issues in school.
Oh, okay.
Why is he sitting and playing guitar for like 4 or 5 hours?
There's some girlfriend broken up.
And yeah, girlfriend broken up, you know, and there's like all this Metallica music playing, this angry, what's going on with this kid, man? So and then I guess over the years it sort of like made sense to them. So once they got to see MTV and once they got to see Guns N' Roses and Bon Jovi and whatever they could relate to as rock music, and they're like, oh shit, these guys are like, it's kind of like this one, you know, what to do? These guys are mad, what to do? Anyways, man, so I basically started to get more boring and more serious because I started getting into more theory and more like listening to jazz.
What kind of friends did you have?
I would search for friends that played guitar, man. I would search for friends who were playing in rock bands, you know. I would go to Rang Bhavan and find which hammer and try to go backstage and like talk to Suraj or talk to Paresh. And like these guys were like, I was always like, I have to meet those guys and I have to like see what they play and I have to find out. So it was always like from the local scene as well as, because we had very little information coming from the outside. We had only like if your friend bought some cassette from the UK or from Dubai or something, or some CDs or some videos. I mean, that was the only image of what happened. We didn't have any magazines showing us, you know,
no internet.
nothing, no internet for sure. So it was all like word of mouth. You had to find your own music pretty much, and I just was thirsty for more rock music. You know, I just want to go and find all the albums by all the Judas Priests and, you know, all the other bands that, you know. Yeah, so I guess that is still me today. I'm still hungry and I'm still thirsty for the unknown, you know, music that I haven't heard, music that friends tell me, dude, you have to check this out, you know. So it's kind of like that's been the norm now in my life now. So I thank two things. One is like my parents for just allowing me all of this badmash giri or whatever you want to call it, and secondly, I think art school. It really sort of brought the artistic side out in me. It wasn't like doing music for dhanda, you know. It was like do music for passion, do music for art,
for the sake of music,
for the sake of music. You know, I mean, create. You know, represent your city, your culture in whichever way you want. You know, be it rock music. Because at that point, a lot of people were telling us, dude, you have to do film music, you have to sing in Hindi, you have to change your style. You know, it will work. Join a gym. One label told us join a gym and shit like that. Can you imagine? Yeah, dude. Stuff like that. And we were like, in my mind at least, you know, rock and roll had no language. Music has no language. Music is just a vibe thing. Music is a feel thing, you know, and the ability to communicate with sound was a very interesting thing for me in my mind, or communicate through melody or harmony. I mean, anyone can hum it, you know, you don't have to know a certain language. I like those kind of things, man. And again, my stubborn ass attitude was like, you know, going against people that said things weren't possible, and I'm like, it's not like I'm pushing some criminal activity or you know. I'm like, dude, it's music, man. I mean, I have the right to make this kind of music in a way I think is cool and appropriate. I have the right to expression without, you know, always having to think I need a job and I have to make money from. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'm open to that, you know. So I started doing a few jingles and I started doing, but I would always push the Pentagram side a lot more. I would always push the learning.
How did the band form?
Pentagram formed in '93. I think there was Vishal, Clyde, and Shiraz. I think three of them were like instrumental in forming the band. I got a call in '94 because they wanted to replace the guitar player to audition for them. So that's how I got into the band, and I brought in Papal, the current bass player, into the band because he was in JJ School of Art with me. Okay. So that's how we all got together, and it was a common thing right from the start where, dude, we have to make new music, we have to make original music, you know, which was at that point very lacking, you know. A lot of bands were doing covers, even we did covers, you know. It was like, okay, we do covers, everyone says you do it to start, it's good practice, now you're good, okay, now school is over, now you're out in the real world, now what, you know. So we went out boldly and got a lot of criticism for it, but we did what we did, you know, and I think that's what pushed us into the next level of like, acha, hey, this also can exist in this country. You can make your own music and you can rock out and you can earn fans, you know. So we started step by step, very humbly, and said, okay, cool, like let's be men and do this, you know. Let's take criticism, let's get slapped for it, but it's our music. Right. Somebody has to do it, somebody has to start somewhere. So it was good. There were a few other bands that were doing it at that point, and I think it was important for the scene that came together at that point, and even now, anyone that comes together to make it happen is actually what's taking things to the next level. So it's good, man. I think now, right from cool ass retailers or, you know, to the music stores, to the magazines, to merchandise, albums, everything's coming together. So I think the music scene is quite rich and healthy now from where it's coming from.
Post Pentagram in 90s, when did Shaa'r and Func get formed? What's that story?
The Shaa'r and Func story. I met Monica at a friend's house. There was a party going on. There was a jam session. A bunch of musicians with saxophones and, you know, little small bits of percussion and stuff like that. And Monica was freestyling, you know, and I picked up a guitar, started jamming. We were like, just wow, she was this hot, beautiful girl, you know, and so amazingly talented. I was like, I have to know this girl. And then we sort of just hit it off, and we had the same ideas, and she had a viewpoint like an Indian from New York, and then being very Indian, and me an Indian from India being very Western.
Right.
You know, so it was like a little interesting dialogue there. We were like, yes, there's stuff that we can do in terms of ideas, execution, and there was a huge gap to be filled in music. There was rock music and heavy metal, and then there was Bollywood and folk music or classical music, like our heritage, fusion, whatever. Nothing in between. There was a huge area, and I still think there's a huge area to be unexplored, to be explored, you know, of the unexplored. And we did. We said, okay, these are our songs. We like electronic music, you know, we like folk music, we like Bombay music or New York music, whatever. Let's just try and bring it together and see how it works. And people just loved it and were very started to embrace the idea. Like, yes, this is cool, this is possible. You know, also probably at the right time for a female vocalist to stand out and voice uncommon opinions and thoughts and ideas, you know what I mean? And just speaking freely was awesome. Yeah, and I was happy where I could sort of push the production in music, the production ideas in music a step further, you know. Could take it out, experimenting a lot more with other genres of music, you know. Mixing the old and the new. So I think it was a very nice little, and it still is a very nice school format for us to just sort of really experiment and take things where no other band has taken before, you know, and do it comfortably, do it in a way where we are embracing again, embracing the audiences, you know, we are shaking hands with them, saying, hey, this is who we are, and not being very aggressive with our sound necessarily, you know, we're not like, yeah, if you don't like it, you know, you can go home, kind of a vibe. So I think we're just sort of also a little more gentler in terms of vibes. So it's a vibe band thing. So I think all of it comes together, makes me happy as an artist, makes Monica happy, keeps Shaa'r and Func solid and excited to make exciting music, you know, so yeah, as short as I can be.
Is Bollywood, you think, today ready for your kind of music?
See, Bollywood finally has sort of, I mean, if I might say, woken up, or at least the people have woken up, you know, it's like, bus, enough, you know, I mean, give us more quality. I mean, we've had so much kachra, like so much nonsensical music just because it has to suit the film or the character or some actor who wants to be a goofy, you know. So film music, finally, now people are keeping aside and people are able to distinguish between real music, film music, you know. So now the films, the coolest thing is Bollywood accepting independent music, Bollywood accepting singer-songwriters, you know, and putting those ideas and those emotions in film to give it a little more depth, a little more perspective, making things a little more real, making things a little more sort of progressive, if I might say, you know, you're sort of taking the people somewhere greater, somewhere better, somewhere lovelier, as opposed to taking them to a dumber spot, a little less intellectual. You just, I mean, that's pretty much what, I mean, I'm a dumb guy, you know, but I don't want to be kept dumb. I want to learn better things. I want someone to give me better things. And I want to search, I want to have that choice so I can freely understand more than what I'm just seeing through, you know, the little TV or listening to on the radio. It's that time now, man. I see it, I mean, a lot of cool musicians, a lot of cool music producers now making and changing it from the inside, which is what makes me happy, you know. So other than the fact that Bollywood has just caught up with EDM or, you know, caught up with electronic music, I would say that it's far cooler that they've caught up with the idea of subscribing to independent music. The idea that they have to take the real people behind the magic, the real people soaking in the culture of Bombay or the country, and make those songs, you know, into a reality. I think then that has a little more ballsiness to it. And I think Bombay is a ballsy place, man. I think we can afford to be ballsy. Why just be all, you know, shy and goody and politically correct all the time, man? We're a rowdy city. Just be rowdy, man. Just speak the truth. You know what I mean? If anyone can, we can. If you know what I mean. So it's good, man. That's a good thing.
Great.
Pressure cookers in the mix.
Thanks for spending time with us.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
We'll catch up with you soon.
Yeah, sure.